going on, everybody? It's Chrono here. Welcome to the channel. And today we're having a debate. So, debate away in the comments. Which one do you guys think's better? Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft? To each their own on each game or whatever. I've read and heard from both sides of the fence. And my personal opinion is I choose Final Fantasy XIV and Classic. Retail? I mean, it's fun if I just want an action-packed video game. But it's not an MMO like it used to be, which sucks. Because I got 12 years into retail WoW. And to do it all over again on Classic is, well, you know, I have nostalgia. What can I say? But right now we're talking about Final Fantasy XIV, and these mounts are ridiculous. The detail that they put into these mounts is, you know, really top notch. And I like the mounts. What can I say? I mean, the mounts are really sweet. Now, compared to the games, obviously I have more on WoW than I do on Final Fantasy XIV, but hey, it is what it is. But so what I like about Final Fantasy XIV is there's no PTR. That is the big thing for me. There's no spoilers. There's no bunch of YouTube videos or, you know, people streaming future content. We got a badass trailer and a date of when this is going to be coming out, and that's it. And now we have all summer to play other video games or continue leveling your other jobs. If you haven't completed it, there's 18 jobs, quote-unquote classes. And then you have professions. I mean, there's so much to do in Final Fantasy XIV. It is unreal. And it really doesn't get boring. I haven't really found anything of Final Fantasy XIV to get boring. The only thing that has stopped me from playing it could be new content in WoW to take a break. I have a 2-year-old, so that really keeps me busy. But I don't know. I like the way Final Fantasy XIV is. I like how WoW used to be. The way they're flying is, it's not time gated. You do the content, you unlock the ether currents, you get flying. You don't gotta wait for another patch, 6 months down the road. You actually get freedom playing Final Fantasy XIV. And the other stickler I have is them changing their pay method. You gotta pay 2 months in advance instead of just 1 month. Final Fantasy XIV, you can just pay 1 month and call it good. You're not gridlocked to, paying 2 months. Yes, you can do reoccurring, but, I don't do that. That's just me, personal preference. But, so since we already are on the topic of Shadowlands and World of Warcraft, we'll move on to that topic. But I gave my reasons why I like Final Fantasy XIV. And, so, Shadowlands, the player base died. People played what they played, and that's it. And now they're waiting for 9.1 or playing other video games. I wish the game used to be how it used to be. When they started gutting the game and adding pet battles, yeah, it was doomed to die. But die not like loss of players, die like pretty much a shell of itself. There used to be meat and potatoes when I was introduced to WoW at the end of BC and the beginning of Wrath. There was so much. Yes, I know there's story and lore, and still got millions of achievements, but you can only do so much in this game. And they changed so much dramatically. You know, one day you're doing great, and then the next day you wake up and you log on and you got nerfed. And you're like, what the hell? But that's their formula. That's what they do. Um, and they let the public play future content. And I don't know, I like surprises. Now, can you imagine if there's no PTR? That they actually worked out all the bugs internally and just figured it out themselves? The player base would probably be more ecstatic and excited to play the content because they don't know what's going to happen. I mean, it's just when you hand everything out, you basically lay all your cards on the table. It's just, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to Classic TBC because retail WoW, yeah, I think people are just playing because they're bored, honestly. I've seen a lot of people playing Classic. And honestly, I've talked to a lot of players that did play Shadowlands and then switched to Final Fantasy XIV just because they got tired of the way the system is. And I can't blame them. I mean, Legion, you farmed some kind of power for your weapon. Can't think of it off the top of my head. And then you got Azerite power. And then you got something else for your necklace. Good lord, I can't think of that either. And then now you got Anima. It's the same system, just different ways, different trinkets. And, you know, I don't know. That's just, they need a whole new system, period. Like, scrap all that and go back to the old formula. If you already just rechanged everything, then it wouldn't take long for you to rechange things the way it used to be. The old talent trees. You know, bring back the dailies. Scrap the world quests. I'm just saying. You know, again, those are my opinions. That's why I will be, if anything, playing Classic. And when Classic Wrath comes out, that's, you know, probably where I'll end it. Because that was, you could ask a lot of people, that was the best. That was the best time of their life. And they enjoyed the raids, they enjoyed the content, they took their time. Anything after that, you know, it's whatever. But I think we're going to move on now, and we're going to start talking about Burning Crusade Classic. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I'm leveling my priest, and because that's my main on retail. And I played I leveled Shadow, obviously, but as far as PvP, I played a Disc Priest, and I loved it. It was great. Classic WoW to me is the true MMO. You take your time. You know, again, you don't have to. I'm sure you probably got plenty of friends or whatever. You just dungeon grind or whatever. Me, I'm gonna do every zone, every quest, because that's just how I play. I like to get the rep to Exalted, and you know, get unarmed, maxed out, and all my skills. I mean, I loved it. When they took that away in retail, the game felt so shallow. Even though they added all these other bells and whistles, it still was shallow. I felt like really nothing to work towards as far as for me. And yeah, I don't know. These are just thoughts. And this is my first debate video that I've ever done about World of Warcraft or Final Fantasy XIV. So I'm just kind of curious what you guys all think. Go ahead and leave comments down below. And if you like this video and you want to see more about Final Fantasy XIV or WoW, let me know in the comments. Have a great weekend.